Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum salam.
Welcome to the first official episode of Chat and Choco. We're your hosts, Aisha and
Yasin.
what are you saying? Yasin.
I'm trying to be cute.
Go please. Anyways, so we wanted to make a correction from the intro. I don't know how it slipped, but the episodes are gonna be a bi-weekly basis, not a weekly basis. So just wanted to get that out there. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, and like we said from the previous one, we're gonna start the first official episode talking about marriage.
Y'all, so let's just get right into it. And Aisha, like, why? Just why? You know, because I know you want to get married. Why?
Duh, because
Why?
I'm a sane human being. Okay, I'm not saying you don't want to get married. I'm not saying people don't want to get married for several reasons.
Yeah.
But mainly it's because of having that connection. I want someone that I can have that connection with. I want my own personal best friend.
I'm here.
And Yasin, please don't tell me anything. I want my own personal best friend, someone I can connect with, someone I can just basically be in their skin. You know? Yeah. And also someone I can be with family with, someone who will lead me. You know, naturally I have this leadership skills that I don't like to put out there. It only comes out when I really need to. I hate it. I want to also be at the sideline where somebody else takes charge, you know.
Oh,
So
okay.
I want that. There are other reasons, but I guess these are the main ones.
Yeah, I think like the most important one you said is basically, you know, connections and like having connection. And as human beings, we want someone like
Yes.
close to us. And I realized that maybe I'm not a human being because no, okay, don't get me wrong, like I don't know. I will not say I want to get married. I don't think I've had a time where I sat down and I'm thinking in my head I want to get married. Oh, I just hope somebody's not listening to this. But yeah, I'm guessing maybe it's because of, you know, all of the things I have in my head. You know how they say you like. I don't know how to say. I'm jot say English like I'm jot.
Like you. Let me
basically then I'm jot like, so I may jot you think about other things. For me it's like I don't have
you got things to be occupied
exactly
with.
I have so many things in my head right now that I don't do. But honestly, one day I definitely do want to get married, maybe like 5-10 years later, because I'm still young.
By then you'll be hitting the skeletal
because
remains.
My motto is, why fall in love when you can fall asleep, basically.
Go.
But yeah, so do let us know, you guys, why do you guys want to get married? Because again, do you think if Islam didn't like basically put importance on marriage, would you get married?
If I didn't find the person that I want, no. I mean, I'm just gonna adopt and just get my kitty cats and cook my side. But I am a big fan of connection. I don't know, maybe because I'm a firstborn, and you know, if you're a firstborn, you don't get the attention that you want.
Girl, I'm a firstborn and I don't want to get married.
Okay, I am the same firstborn. Okay, so probably why. But I don't know if Islam didn't. I mean, it's not by force. It's Islam.
No, alhamdulillah, it's not mandatory.
She said alhamdulillah, it's not mandatory.
Alhamdulillah, it's not mandatory. Because imagine if it was mandatory to get married. Lord, it would have been a mess. But I'm glad Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that choice and say, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, you know, hey, it's okay.
And it is scary. Marriage is scary. Honestly, I can get why some people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
There was another person who DM'd me talking about why they don't want to get married because it's very scary, and I get it. Like, in our society, half of the marriages, if not more than that, are toxic. Like, just today I was having a conversation with one girl, and you know, she was telling me about a snip. I know people like, why is she talking to you about him marital problems? Guys, people talk to me all the time. I'm an open book, okay? And I'm not gonna mention names, obviously, but it was just sad. I felt so bad for her. Like, she's talking about just how tired she is in her marriage. She has 4 kids and she's going to school, you know, and then she has to split the bill 50-50 with her husband. I'm like,
wait,
no.
What religion are they?
They're not Muslims. They're not Muslims. I'm like,
okay,
still,
no
even if you're not Muslim, as a woman, like, No, you got so much on your plate. You have
Yeah.
4 kids to take care of, and your husband wants to split 50-50 bills with you. How to the now?
No, honestly, it's scary, and you know, we cover like the things, like so many, we have so many questions that basically they will lead to like the problems in marriages.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, I believe that marriage is a risk.
It is
You know,
a risk.
it's a
yeah.
risk that everybody is gonna take, because you know how this will bring me to my next question.
Yeah.
And it's like how to know your partner, because basically now what we do is like not do what we believe is like, okay, we have to, like, you know, we have to basically do the dating, and I'm talking about the haram one, even though I do not agree that, you know, there's no halal dating. There's no halal dating, but you know, like you said before, that, you know, the word dating has been what was the word
Corrupted.
exactly. So how honestly, like, how would you like know your, like, you how would you get to know your partner basically?
Girl, don't expose me here. Because I feel like if I need to know my partner, I need
Yeah.
to talk to him directly. I know a friend who, you know, they had someone else get involved.
Yeah.
The husband had to go talk to another person, like, hey, can you tell me something about this girl and
Yeah.
all those things. You know, they were using somebody else to talk to each other. But subhanallah, I don't know. I'm a very shy person. I feel like I don't want to have some questions I want to ask. I don't want it to go out there and all that.
Exactly.
But I think the right way, Islamically, is always have somebody in between.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure at least to keep the girl safe, because some of
True.
these guys, like my dad said, guys will lie to you. They will promise to bring the sky down for you, and they will make you believe that the sky is down for you. That's how much they can lie.
Yeah,
This is coming from my father, okay?
True.
You know, he's just warning me about how much guys can lie, you know. But having that mahram for the sister is very, very important. Just so that the guy knows that you are not somebody who is left to defend herself. You know, you have someone to help you, to back you up, to protect you if he should do anything wrong. I think it's a big thing for us to involve our mahram, either your big brother or your father, or whichever male relative or whichever male figure you have in your life who wants the best for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how when you're talking about mahram, having someone there, and it just shows, if it was just women, we wouldn't even have to worry about, oh, this haram dating.
No.
You would just go and
No.
talk to a guy.
No.
Because I have so many stories where
Yes.
a guy would come and be interested, and I'm trying everything I can to follow the book,
Mhm.
and they just want to go off
Yes.
script.
Yes.
And it's so heartbreaking, it's so embarrassing when you have to tell a guy, especially a guy who comes to you and wants to be your leader, wants to be your mahram, and you have to constantly remind that person that this is not Islamic.
This is not
And they're
Islamic.
looking at you like that favorite quote, you and your
I don't know
Islam.
if he's hearing this, but a guy told me, you and your Islam. I was like, excuse me, am I the only one who is following that Islam?
Honestly,
What about you?
Yeah, and it's so scary because every time you come, you as a woman, you're trying everything. You're okay, I want this marriage to happen, or I want to get to know this person, so that even if we don't get married, at the end of the day, if we go our separate ways, if we see each other, we're gonna actually have our heads up high because we didn't do anything.
I mean,
you know,
look at how a shame it will be. Like, you feel so shameful
Yeah.
if you go around doing haram all the time. I mean, if you
Exactly.
repent,
Yeah.
move on, obviously, you know. But yeah, don't let any guy make you do things that you don't want to do.
True.
You know, things that you're not comfortable with. Let them know, set boundaries straight, that these are the things you're not comfortable with. Because the man who respects you
Wallahi.
and wants you to be his wife, the mother of his children, really will not be asking you this explicit stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
honestly, and like you said, that shame is gonna follow you.
Yeah, it's
Even
gonna follow
like
you.
you repent is okay, but still, as human beings,
Yeah.
if like Aisha knows something about me that is so embarrassing, even though I've repented, that like the
Yes.
fact that she knows, it's gonna, and especially if it's a man.
Yeah.
You know, there's with this sister who reached out to me one time, and she basically did something and she repented, but this guy is just going around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, basically trying to ruin her life.
Yes.
It's basically doing that. If I cannot have
This,
you,
this gender is not trusted.
yeah, it's crazy. So it's so crazy. So whenever you know, I understand that, you know, people now, they find it very hard to know the other person without dating. You know, one time I remember I made a video talking about how at least these things, don't do it. And it's like, for example, they're asking you about pictures, or send me a picture where you know you're not wearing certain, like you're not wearing clothes, or they're asking you what are you wearing.
It's crazy. Rampant in the Muslim community.
It is, and it shows you. If for me, honestly, if a guy who wants to marry me and I want to marry him, we're getting to know each other, and they're asking me questions like this, it's just like flat out, it's just disrespectful, like you said. You're supposed to respect the woman, you know. And us women, I don't know why we're so vulnerable. These men will come being sweet talkers, you know, you're like all addicted, you know, to this man. You're there sending, doing things.
Our low self-esteem. A lot of women, they don't realize that they have low self-esteem and low standards. Like,
honestly,
I always say, when I was back home, I didn't really have standards when it comes to who I want as a husband. My standard was, know the Quran, and that was it. You know, unless I see you're a bad person, then sure, I was like, no. But know the Quran, be a good person, that was my standard. And then later on, when I'm talking to some guys, and it's like, no thank you, this is not what I want for myself. I think also because I always use my firstborn. Guys, I have firstborn trauma, okay? But I think as a firstborn who was taught to basically put people's needs first, you know, I think it got into me so much that in my adult life, even if I don't want to do something, I'll end up doing it because I need to put people's needs first. And at some point, it's like, what about my needs?
Exactly. At some point, you just lose yourself.
Yeah, you lose yourself. At some point, it's like, what do I even want myself? Like, who do I even want? You know, I'm asking myself those kind of questions, because like, you're doing this because you don't want to do it. You're doing it because somebody is asking you to do it. You know, so I think having standards also is also another problem why some of the sisters, they like not having standards, basically, is why they fall prey to
and know your worth, ladies. Know your worth. Just because, like, was it Mufti, don't have did he say one eye? Is it an eye? Something like, don't solely focus on that one. But you know how when somebody comes and they want to get to know me for marriage, it's how some of us, we just like, we just go all in. You know, we're all in, we fall in love deep. It's like basically we cannot breathe with this person. And when I made a video before talking about, you know, if you're getting to know somebody, don't get your heart involved. And people were looking at me like I was crazy, like, how is that even gonna work? Like, honestly, I'm like, well, don't be.
I mean, it's hard.
It's
because
hard.
For me, I'm a very emotional person. My heart is always involved. My brain is never involved in anything I do. It's always my heart first, you know.
True, because
if you're getting to know someone, I believe you should always take it as a job interview.
Exactly.
You know, like, ask your questions, like, especially at the beginning stage. You know, if you ask the questions later, maybe you've already fallen for the person. You know, so whatever answer they will give you, you probably won't even listen to it because you're already so deep into this person. You know, but like at the beginning stage, have your non-negotiables already, and you know, your list of questions already. Somebody was telling me men don't like it when you ask them questions and all that. I was like, really?
They don't have to like it for you to do it. You have to do it.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna still ask my questions. You know, because I need to know that I'm living with someone that I actually want to live with. You know, that this is a person that I'm actually comfortable with. That I know it's like, it has this topic has so many sidetracks, because it's like, what if they are lying?
Unless you did your part.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, unless you did your part. And the question part is very important. And I feel most of us, we say we're getting to know a person for marriage, but we lie to ourselves. Because once we start, we don't even ask the questions. We don't even have questions to ask. We just go in, well, I'm getting to know this person. What are you guys talking about? What's your favorite color? When is your birthday? Send me your picture. They don't talk about anything.
Talk about parenting.
Honestly.
Talk about, do you want me to work or not? Like, all those things, you need to talk about them.
I feel like sometimes we lie to ourselves. And I think the most important thing is, if you want to get to know a person and you know in your heart that you want to get married, ask yourself if you're ready. Because if you're not, don't waste that person's time. Don't waste your time. Because 9 times out of 10, women are the ones who get hurt the most. Because men they get away with a lot of things. A man could come and do something.
I've met some guys who actually get hurt also, you know.
Yeah, true. That's true. But it's like, we carry the crowd, basically, girl. We are the majority. Generally. So you guys stay safe out there, and when you're getting to know a person, please do it right. You know, what's funny is how some of them will be mad. Oh, you don't love me, that's why you're not sending me pictures. Dude, bah.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone tell me, send me pictures, or you don't love me.
Creeps all over. The creeps. But yeah, the next question is, would you marry into a family that does not welcome you, that does not want you? And there's like so many reasons as to why that they don't want you. One, because you're from a different tribe, tribalism, or two, it's because they just want, they want to marry someone they pick out themselves, but mostly it's because of, well, those two reasons, definitely. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that question is so heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy. There's no wrong or right answer, because it's like a lot of things.
Is so heavy. Yeah. It depends on what I as a woman can handle.
Exactly. And the man.
Obviously, at the beginning, I don't want to get married into a family that does not approve of me.
Yeah.
They don't like me. Because those kind of families, usually there's no pleasing them. There's no change their mind.
True.
They already make up their mind.
True.
If your son brings a woman, you're like, okay, I don't know her, but I'm going to try to get to know her, sure. But already you have this perception of who I am. You already judge me, so no matter what I do, you're only seeing the negative aspect of it. Even if there's no negative aspect of it, you're trying to build like a negativity towards whatever I bring. So it's gonna be hard. If I have to do that, my husband is gonna be someone I really, really, really love, and I know that he's someone who has a backbone. He's someone who can
not a straw.
No, literally not a straw that wherever the wind blows, he's just gonna follow the wind. He's gonna have a backbone. He's gonna have principles. He's gonna have boundaries, and he's gonna have a voice. And let his family know that there are boundaries that they should not cross when it comes to his wife.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason I will actually do that. And also, if I am not living with a family, and it could be in the same country but different cities or different countries, but it's gonna be hard because these kind of things at some point affect the kids also. My kids, some of these families
living proof right here.
No, literally we're all living proofs. But like some of the families, like there are some families that don't like the wife, but they will like the kids because the kids are their sons, children, all that. But there are some they will still bring it up to the kids. They will still not like the kids because they see the kids, they see the mom. So I'll have to think about my kids also. But if I have a very supportive husband who I know for sure is always gonna be by my side. Because some of these men, they be promising to be by your side, and then when the time comes,
no, she's my mom.
Yeah,
but she's my sister.
She's my sister. I have to do whatever. I have a duty towards them. You have a duty to your wife also, to protect and care for her. Like you took her from her father's home and brought her here. You need to protect her. Make sure, like she's okay.
Yeah, I think like what you said is very important. If that's I feel like that's like the only answer. That's the only that's gonna be the only reason why anyone will go and marry into family that they don't welcome you is when you said if a man has a backbone, basically, because you have backbone, you have boundaries. That this is wife, this is mom. Not to mix them up. You don't let other family members disrespect your wife. You're basically like you're the man. Because we see most of these men, they will like get married. The family that does not basically like the woman, they will come here with their big mouth telling the wife, we'll figure this out, we'll work this out. Your family as the woman also, they're scared and they're saying no, but you fought. And you decided to leave your father's home. You go and say, okay, I have this man. At least if the whole family is against me, the one who is very important to me is gonna start and stick with me. And at the end of the day, you found out this brother has a straw for a backbone. Basically, he's not supporting you. He's disrespecting you. And especially like when it gets to a point like this is like a different topic. But like, how when the family does not want you, and let's say something happens. For example, you're taking a while to conceive, to have a child.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah.
and this man, because he does not have a backbone, the voices are in his head and he's not supporting you anymore. So I feel like it's a risk for me personally, like you said, even if the backbone is there.
No.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it.
No, yeah, I feel like it's my first choice is to get married. Like, I mean, they don't know me. It's their son who is bringing me, so it's like, okay, this is who my son chooses. We'll just get to know her, accept it and accept that my son is gonna make the right decision. Because some of these people, they feel like their sons or daughters are not making the right decision, and sometimes they're right, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
You know.
At least,
So they will just have to trust that they raise their son right for him to make the right decisions in, you know, choosing the spouse that he wants to spend the rest of his life with.
Some mother-in-laws, I think they just need to understand that your child has grown up.
Yes.
Like your child is no longer your child, because I've seen marriages where you would actually think that the mother-in-law and the wife, they are co-wives.
Yeah.
Basically, because they're just constantly there. You have, and you know what pisses me off is some mother-in-laws that like when they have a son and the son gets married, they actually forget that they have a husband.
Yeah.
Like, go to your husband and ask for stuff. They're constantly on the. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love for my husband to have like this connection with his mom, do things for his mom. But it gets to a point where you can actually see that this mother-in-law is basically trying to ruin everything.
Yeah.
You know, so it's actually scary. And then you have sister-in-laws also ruining things. Remember that one time when on Facebook this guy was looking for an orphan for a wife? I'm sorry, I don't even blame him. I mean, for him, I don't understand why.
For his own, like, it was crazy.
It was crazy. For a woman, I would understand. No, honestly, I would understand why a woman would want to say, "Oh, I don't want a man who has," because it's just scary. You know, the backbone is not there. The whole family.
At some point when I was young, I used to want an only child.
I know, right? It's crazy, and this is how you see the mothers will go and get married into this family, and they just stay there, being miserable. They're being treated bad, and they always have this. I don't know who taught our parents this, like our grandparents. Oh, you know, if you're not suffering in the marriage, it's not marriage.
Yeah.
No.
Yo, I'm not in this life to suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, thank you. Next.
I've been suffering.
Honestly.
Being a firstborn.
Yeah. I mean, everything is hard. Marriage is hard, but it's not supposed to be miserable.
No.
If they're being abused left and right from the mother-in-law, sister-in-laws, the people that are not even related to your husband, they just know your husband because they basically paid for his school fees, or they basically like watch him grow up, and you just there taking it. No.
And then you have some of the men who actually will tell you that they need to get a wife because their moms need help.
Those men,
home, you know,
I
all
feel
the wrong reasons they are getting married for.
You know, most of these first wives, I actually feel it's actually scary to be a first wife because of, like you said, that some men will say, "I'm marrying my first wife." Somebody actually told me this. I don't understand how you're hitting on somebody and you're saying that those dumb things. Clearly told me, "Oh, my first wife is for my mother, and my second wife." I was like,
yeah,
the things that women are going through.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This other guy also a whole university student telling me, "Oh, you know, Aisha, like." I know some people like, oh, they know who I'm talking about because I tell everyone about this story. But he was like, you know, don't you get lonely? And I was like, boy, I got bills to pay. I got bills to pay. I'm not thinking about getting lonely and all those things. Like, you all out there probably you got no bills to pay, but I got bills to pay. And then he was like, yeah, you know, he feels like his mom is really old and he needs a wife.
Get it made.
You know. I'm like, how dare you?
Get it
like,
made.
how actually dare you? How would you say you will go get somebody's daughter from her home where she's probably not doing much just to marry her up because you want your mom to have a free maid? Like, I'm not saying your wife should not help your mom. You know, if she wants to, she can.
Yeah.
It's not her duty.
Exactly.
I think one thing our society needs to understand is it is not her duty. She can respect her elders, you know, her husband's parents. She can respect them, or she should respect them actually, you know, and help them when she can, all that. But you're not marrying just to bring her so that your mom has a free maid.
True. Yeah, it's actually bad because sometimes, you know, people in the villages, they will have the guy will go like to Sarkunda to basically work. So the first wife is for the mom, being there in the farm, doing everything, and he's in the city, married to another woman, living his life. The only contribution he's doing is send exact.
It's sperm. It's not even
go and have kids.
It's literally sperm that
basically
he's donating.
It's so scary. And you have also some men that will marry to fix the problem. You know, I was saying before, you know, some of these Gambian men, they don't have this solving problem couple like skill.
They don't have leadership skills.
They don't have it
no offense to Gambian men, but some of you don't have any leadership skills.
It's like one problem you see people advising you.
Look at that riffraff of a sheikh who was talking about how if your wife don't get up for Fajr,
go and marry somebody else.
You should go and marry a second wife.
What kind of advice
Okay, what if you get a second wife who doesn't wake up for Fajr? You
go
get a third wife. What if she doesn't wake up for Fajr too?
Got it for
and then what if she doesn't get the
divorce and get another one?
Like, it's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
The first thing you should ask is why is she getting up for Fajr? Because all of the Gambian women there, they are tired.
It's crazy because they don't want to do. I feel like the men don't want to do the work. You know how when you hear men say, oh, when I don't have nothing, so why don't you stick with me? And since I'm zero, you have to stick with me. But then when it's your turn, they turn away and go look for something else.
Exactly.
A woman will stick by you.
Yeah.
Stick by you. Honestly, you see a man who gonna have a kid, the woman will stick by him, will do everything she can. But if it's the opposite, the man is out the door. I feel like we are I don't know whether I should use the word, we are very lenient when it comes to things. Look at when you hear like a man cheats.
Again,
it's okay.
Self-esteem. Like I was talking about my mom. I was talking to my mom. I was telling her about how I realized that I really have had, like, not now currently, because risen up, but like a few years ago I realized that, I have low self-esteem, all that. And she's like, what do you mean you have low self-esteem? You've always been this confident person, blah blah blah. I'm like, ma'am, do you know your daughter? Confident where?
Yeah, you're right.
But I think it's like, many of us don't even realize it till like late. We don't even realize it, because this thing we're talking about, there'll be some women who hear like, these girls are feminists. What are they talking about? Like, they are literally okay with being a maid, just so, I'm married. You're married, your husband is not present, or he comes probably once in 6 months.
They're single in their relationship.
Who are single in their marriage, and it's like, Lord, no. Lord, save us from that.
No, honestly, it's really scary. It's really scary. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us men who fear Him. Feel like when they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have it all, because they will do things right. Because
another thing, like I always say, a lot of shares, wallahi, in our society, they should have a seminar for some of these guys.
Well, the thing is, most of them are focusing on us. It's, at some point, you actually like, oh my God, Islam is for both men and women. Every single time you open social media, sisters, just shush sometimes and talk about things that people are going through. You don't even hear all of it. They're talking about our hijab. They're talking about our dressing. They're talking about us being social media. They're talking about us
being submissive. And
it's
fine.
honestly,
for me personally, submission is fine.
Girl,
but like,
if you want me to be submissive, be a leader.
That's what I'm saying. It's fine.
Yeah,
but like,
you cannot be a princess and want me.
A lot of the guys that I've come across, they are leaders by mouth, but not by action. They don't know how to. All they do is just talk, and they think they use a huge voice, a hoarse voice. They are leaders. Oh, I'm a man, I'm a leader. But you just ask them for an idea, and they tell the most stupidest things, and they'll tell that they are the leader and you should follow. I'm like, I'm not following to do stupidity.
No.
So all of them, they don't know how to actually, because look at it, in our society, a lot of the girls are brought up to maintain the home in terms of cooking, cleaning, washing, all those things. How many of the boys are actually brought up to know how to lead?
Nothing.
Because
none.
Aside from playing football, when it's time to eat, they come. Nothing. Most of them, nothing. And then you grow up, and then it's like, I just need a partner, because you feel like, you're having some desires, and you just go get married, and you don't know how to lead your wife.
They just carry what they see in the homes. My dad comes from work, and my mom brings the food on the table. He eats. My mom takes the plate, and my mom is there making attire for my dad. My mom will not say anything to my dad. My dad is the only one who's making decisions. Doesn't even involve my mom. So you grow up with this idea. What you said is very that's a very good point. Like the actual fact that we are brought up to maintain the home, and the men are not being raised to do nothing. Like, it's fine if your dad is making decisions, if he's making the right decisions, sure. But I'm not gonna sit down with my husband making stupid decisions, and I'm like, okay, honestly. And also some of them think that as a wife you should not say anything, you should not have a say in anything. I see some Muslim dawah boys and all that talking about, your wife's opinion doesn't matter and all that. I'm like, I'm so glad we're in a world
thank God
of social media.
I'm not marrying any of those people, because I'm choosing who I'm marrying, and that person is gonna have to at least consider my opinion. Like, I'm not saying take my opinion for sure, but at least hear me out. There's one more thing I wanted to add. So when we said that boundaries, again, we're not saying a man has to abandon his family. We're not saying he has to abandon his parent and just focus on a wife. No, we're not saying all that. What we're saying is he needs to understand that he has a duty towards his parents. That's fine. Islamically, we all have duties to our parents. Even me as a wife, I have a duty to my parents too. Just because I get married doesn't really mean my duty towards my parents. And But what we mean is he should understand that he also has a duty towards his wife to protect, to serve, and to care for her. You know, the father of the girl entrusted his daughter. Like, that's a trust. Like, it's actually a trust. And also, it's a I always believe a marriage is a contract. That when we decide to get married, we are signing a contract with Allah. Not just with our husband or wives, with Allah. Allah has given us responsibilities and rights that we need to fulfill. So when we marry, I believe we're signing the contract. The husband is signing the contract of, I'm going to do my Islamic duties towards my wife, and the wife is signing the contract of, I'm going to do my Islamic duties towards my husband. That's very important for us to know. And again, like I said, seminars need to be organized for a lot of the boys.
They're busy doing other things.
And it needs to be organized for a lot of the boys, because when you ask them about what are your wife's responsibility, no, your wife's rights, some of them cannot even name one for you. You know,
I'll be like, what? She has rights?
Some of them might tell you, oh, I'm supposed to provide, but their wife is also providing.
And you know what's crazy? They when they hear provide, they just stick with the financial one.
Yeah.
There's protection.
There's care.
Yeah, there's care.
Attention. All those
you have
things
to be
are
there physically, emotionally, psychologically. They just come. For example, you come, you abuse to provide finance. What's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? And I know some people are like, you women are so emotional, whatever. I'm sorry, if you decide to get married, that's what you're signing up for.
Exactly.
So you need to accept the terms and the conditions,
Exactly. But yeah, the next question is, what is your, basically I know what is your take, but like let the audience know like your take on married women working, because I feel like there's like is the word riff on the internet. We have women on this side say a woman should stay home, you should be a housewife, and other women are like, yeah, no thank you, I'm gonna work. And I feel like both have the right to basically, if you want to stay at home, stay at home. If you want to work. There's no need to shame the other.
Yes, I hate it when we shame the other for something that we're all allowed to do. Like, we're all allowed to do it. If you choose to basically, maybe let's say pray to nafila, someone wants to pray for, it doesn't really, you're allowed to do any of those two, so it doesn't mean you're better than the other person, But for me, I support women working a lot, because unfortunately we live in a society where not all men are reliable.
And we need women working too.
And women working is very, very, very important, because like you mentioned, the TSA and stuff like that,
healthcare,
and healthcare,
teachers,
gynecologists. Like when I go, I see a female doctor, I'm so happy, because I feel like they understand me. Like when I was in Gambia and I had a question about my cycle, I went to 3 male doctors, and none of them could explain it to me. They all told me it's normal, but they didn't tell me, because I didn't see this as normal. It was something that was different than what I'm used to. So why is it normal? None of them could explain to me until the 4th doctor, who was a female, and she explained to me, and I was 16, 17, and since then I'm like, I'm never seen a male doctor for any female problems again. I always get excited, but I for sure I know my mom is like, what the hell do you mean? But if I have my way, I'm gonna be a full-time housewife. I don't like working. I don't know. I want to give back to my society in so many ways. I have so many plans for my society. At some point, I'm like, Aisha, where the hell are you getting all these finances from to do all these plans that you have? But at some point, in another way, I'm also tired.
But you can do part-time.
I know, I'm getting there, but I don't know. Even with part-time, I want to work part-time, but like on my, I just want to work for myself.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't want to report to anyone, because with the part-time, I also want to choose my own schedule. Some days I might want to come, some days I might not want to come. But if you're working for somebody else, it's like you have to stick to the schedule that they give you. I don't want that. But if I have my own business that I'm running myself, and I'm probably hire people, and I'll just pop in once or twice a week, and that's it. I love that. You all see how sometimes I don't even want to go to school. I didn't want to go to. I had an exam one time. I didn't even go because I didn't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
So I do support women working, but for me, if I have to work full time, I will. If I have to help my husband, because I know that usually men, when it comes to finances and they are stressed with finances, that's an ugly side of them. Men don't generally, like responsible men don't like to be stressed with finances. They they want to provide for their house, their wife, their kids and all that. Irresponsible ones don't care. But responsible ones, they want to provide. So when a man is in a situation where he's really stressed with finances, I feel like it brings an ugly side of them.
It does. They don't want to be that vulnerable. They just don't want to feel helpless.
Incompetent,
Exactly,
which they are not.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like women working also is very important, because let's say, for example, you're not working, you have no skills at all, and your husband basically is providing, doing everything he can. God forbid something happens.
Yeah, I get it. No, for sure.
And then who's gonna?
It's not also about working. It's also having like something going for yourself.
Yeah, true.
Basically having a source of income. It could be you have your own business. It could be you have some kind of investment, something going on for yourself, But yeah, I do support women working. I will want to work, just not.
I mean, I've seen my mom, so definitely.
Oh yeah, speaking about moms,
I've seen my mom. She did a lot, like, because if my dad were to like shoulder all three of us and the house and my mom and basically his family, my mom's family.
You have 4 siblings.
Eh?
You said 3 of you.
You
have 4 siblings. You're 4. I mean, you're 4 children.
Yeah, so I've seen what she's done. She and not once did she rub it on my dad's face or on us. Like everything she does, like if I feel like women, I don't know, women are so beautiful that whatever they have, especially married women, whatever they have, they're always thinking about their home, their husband, their children. Whenever my mom will bring something, it's always for us. Like Eid will come and my mom will not even show anything for herself. You know what she would say?
Yes.
If you guys if you're wearing nice clothes, it's like I'm wearing nice clothes. I'm like, no, it's not the same. So it's beautiful how everything she's doing to just basically be there, the small things, not like basically she's not like, oh, I'm also working, I'm gonna run this house. No. And I love that my father understands that point, my wife is working, but it's not like, oh, now she's here shoulder to shoulder telling me that, oh, I'm also working. No, the respect is still there, the love is still there. You can still see, okay, they still, like, they understand, they complement each other. So it's like, when your woman says they want to work, it's not like you're incompetent. And like you said, you have something going for yourself. Like that relative who was basically, she didn't have anything for herself. Everything she has to ask her husband to diaper. At some point she was like, no, this is, I mean,
I feel like in that case, no offense to the husband, but he's been like, he's not being understanding. Like, you should not have to wait for your wife to ask you.
They ask, honestly. And
you should give her monthly allowance.
They will ask. The husband will be in our apartment sitting down and she will come.
No,
ask.
That's even is he not embarrassed?
No,
because if I was a man, I'll be embarrassed.
Some men, do they know what embarrassment is?
No, because you should know that you have a baby.
No.
And you should know that diapers are needed.
But the other question is the controversial one, polygamy. What?
No. My answer is no. My answer is N-O in capital letters, bold letters, italics, underline. No.
But why not though?
It's a no. I'm not sharing nothing. I've been sharing things my whole life. When you have a younger sister, you've been sharing things your whole life. I'm not sharing nothing. Aside, I'm done sharing.
No, honestly, it's like some.
One guy touched that gaslight me. He was like, you should want for your sister what you want for yourself.
Yeah, I do. I want for my sister to have her own.
Exactly. Thank you. That's the same thing I said. I want her to get married, just not with who I'm married.
Exactly.
No,
I want for my sister to have her own man, do her things, not with mine. And it's crazy how some men be like, you women are not good. You were supposed to like. We're not supposed to like it. We have the right to say no.
What do you mean?
We're not supposed to like it. And can you blame us?
Yeah.
You cannot blame monogamous.
Some of them are not doing it
Some of them
correctly.
are going in for polygamy and they don't even know how to do it right.
Yeah.
They're having 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartments, 2 wives. They're having kids. I've seen that literally, like a 2-bedroom apartment with kids. There's so many kids are in there. I'm like, look at this. You're in your bedroom. Your husband is next door. It's just scary.
Yeah. Most of them are doing it for the right reasons.
And other people, they marry to fix the problem,
Yeah.
or basically they're like they fell out of love with the other person. You know how normally you say don't go and get married and make it seem like you don't love the first wife.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the thing, because look at Islam. Islam says when you get married, like have 2 wives. Let's say 2 wives. You're supposed to divide your time equally. You know, but some of them it's like when they get married to a second wife, it's like they want to make up for the time that they did not spend with their second wife. They spend with their first wife. They want to make up all the time with their second wife.
True.
And that's not it. When you get married, you should now divide your time equally, because some of them it's just a second wife, and the second wife is gonna think that, oh, some of them, not all of them though, but some of them are thinking, oh, he married me because he's not the first wife.
Yeah, true.
And the man doesn't even correct her.
Some of the men they go in there start talking
no freaking
shit about
backbone.
the first wife.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, you're my favorite. She doesn't listen. This
Can't
yada.
do
Because
this,
you'll see when they meet, the other wife will start saying, well, this is what he told me. Basically, going back and forth. So it's crazy. It's like I don't even blame the women that don't want it. You know, if you want it, fine. I've seen some sisters who are like great at it.
Yes.
They love it.
Yeah,
They
no,
love.
don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is a no.
Yeah.
Their husband, it's a no. Let's not even have this conversation at all, because it's a no. You know. But also, I think some of these men, not all of them, don't get us wrong, but some of them, they just get married for marrying's sake.
Yeah, they don't know why they get married.
Just like, oh, I'm at the point where I need to get married.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's-
either family
someone was
pressure
telling me,
or peer pressure.
Someone was telling me, oh, my family said I should get married, so I need to get married. And then before they got married, they were complaining to me about their wife. I'm like, excuse me, why are you complaining to me about your wife? You, as a man, you don't have a backbone to tell your family that, no, this is not who I want. What am I supposed to do with that information? Me.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to get married and you cannot stand to your family and tell your family no, because at the end of the day, if they force you to get married to somebody, you're the one going to live with that person.
Exactly.
And if you feel like you cannot live with this person, it's gonna make another person, because maybe the person likes you, you know, you don't like them, so it's gonna be very hard. Sometimes the person comes around and they end up liking the wife or the husband, whoever.
That's a risk I will not take.
Yeah, same here. I have to be obsessed with you before I marry
Honestly.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of them, they just get married just not because they love this woman. They just marry for marrying's sake, and then a year later they talk about second wife. I'm like, somebody hold me, I'm about to punch somebody on their face, because how are you gonna just get married right now and a year later you talk about second wife? At least wait for like maybe 60 years later.
Or never at all.
Or like 90 years later,
Like never at
to
all.
prove that you love the person, or when the person passes away.
No, because I don't understand. You have a wife who treats you right, do right by you, everything is fine,
Yeah, what
and you want to marry a
else
second
do
wife.
you
I just want to
need?
know why. What is the why? I mean, if you can and you wanna, go ahead. But that brings me to my last question, and you actually mentioned it. You actually went in a little bit on, and it's about forced marriages. I mean, I shouldn't even be asking you what's your take on forced marriages, but I believe that forced marriages is like so many types, because it leads to, you know, how do you call it, family marriages, which
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't support.
Oh yes.
Okay, not say support, but I don't like. I'm not gonna like marry basically marrying your cousins. No,
It's a no
I'm
for
gonna
me.
pass.
Yeah, it's a no for me.
On that, because I'm like, why? I feel like those marriages, when something happens, you're stuck. It's like once you get married, you're locked in forever.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not saying that other families, they don't like break up, like have divorce, but it's so hard, because every single time, instead of trying to save the, like, they're not even trying to save the marriage, they're trying to save the relationship between the families.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, you guys have families, if you do this, it's gonna be ugly. What
All
about
sorts
me?
of gaslighting.
Exactly. And you know, we parents are out there basically forcing kids
Yeah.
to marry and not knowing that they ruin families. I had, like, my brother was telling me this, a friend of his basically was forced to marry this woman, and they just basically had a child, and that's it. If you look at them, you don't see that, you don't even think that they're married. Even had another scenario where this guy married, the parents forced him to marry this girl. Now they're divorced. He got married to another person. Apparently the parents forced him to marry that one too. Got divorced. Now he's on his third wife.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this dude like, bro, you are how old are you? So for how long are you going to let your parents dictate your life? You're ruining other women's lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true, but he said he's telling them that he's not interested, and they stay.
Wow. Yeah, I am so against forced marriage, family marriage. I am so against it. Like if if first, Alhamdulillah, Islam says that the girl also has a say. You know, even though some people are not following
They're not
Islam,
following that.
but the girl also has a say on who she gets, like who she gets married to. You know, like for me, my family knows I am not interested in family marriage. I have told them no twice. It's a no for me on my side. You know, my dad was like, you know, Islam allows it, culture allows it. I'm like, thank you so much for Islam allowing it, and thank you so much for culture allowing it. But it's for me, it's a no.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But yeah, no, people are doing it and they're fine. They're okay.
fine, honestly.
You know, for me, I always, ever since I was young, all my cousins, I've always seen them as my siblings.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't even call them my cousin. I call them my sister, my brother. That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're telling me, no, but they're not your sister. They're not your this thing. They're not your cousin. They're not your brother. They're your cousin. They're from this side. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, thank you, but it's a no from my end.
It's not even there. My sibling, a sibling of sibling. That side I don't like. Why
Literally
should I go and marry to
because
that side
another
now?
thing also is I know my family. Like if you guys know your family, sure, but I know my family. And I'm like, no, if they're listening, they're gonna be like, what does she mean? But
and it's crazy.
I don't want to be stuck.
You know how
I will be stuck if I get into it. And I told my cousin, one of my cousins who approached me, and I told him, he was like, why don't you want family marriage? And I was like, well, I feel like if there's a problem between me and him, family's gonna want to get involved. Everybody's
gonna know your business.
Yeah, they gonna make it work. You know, if I want to leave, it'll be hard for me to leave. And he was like,
they'll ignore all flags, all red flags.
Literally. And he was like, well, I mean, if that happens and we could not come to a decision, then you know we can go our separate ways. I'm like, yeah, for sure we will. But like now there's animosity into the family. Everyone is gonna look at you in a different way and be like, oh, you're stubborn, which I am. I am very stubborn, you know, but it's gonna be a huge problem, and I don't want to.
And I feel like some families, they do that to solve a family problem, because let's say, for example, how we talk about tribalism, like let's say they don't want you, the mother-in-law or the father side didn't want your mom, and now you're born, now they want you to go and marry the cousin, especially let's say you're like successful or some part, now they want you to go and marry the cousin so that you stay into the family.
Yes,
it's like basically they want you to fix men.
Yes, there are some people, like I know a friend who it's like they want whatever success you have, they don't want it out there. They don't want you to bring somebody else's daughter to come and enjoy your success. No, they want the success to stay in the family. And these are people who never contribute to your success.
Exactly.
You know, and then that's when some of these people will be offering their daughters to this guys and all that, and they're not interested, but their family is forcing that you need to get married to this person's daughter and all that. Is family, cousin blah. Alhamdulillah, for me, alhamdulillah, I don't have parents that will force me to get married to who I do not want to get married
alhamdulillah, to. I don't even know my cousins. The ones I know, they're already married. They already know. But I
can give you some of my cousins.
No, I'm good. I'm Gucci. But yeah, that's all the question I have for you today, Aisha. Thank you so much. I mean, at some point I'm like, I think it's like I treated you like a guest, because I'm an amazing person, you know. But yeah, you guys let us know, you know, in the comment section. Like always, give us your feedback. This was our first episode, right?
Yeah, it's just about Q&A.
Exactly.
I feel like marriage alone is a huge,
it's a huge
deep topic. Probably we'll have.
I'm sure we didn't even talk about a lot of things.
No, we'll probably have to have different segments on you know what to do to get to know your partner, like the red flags that you should look out for, all those things, you know. And you guys leave us feedback.
Leave us feedback, because I remember that the introduction we had feedback, good feedback. I said before, you know, this is our first time, so we are bound to make mistakes, and we're gonna make mistakes, and that is how we.
And again, these are our perspective.
Exactly.
We're not perfect, you know. So if you guys have feedbacks, don't say whatever we say is correct. It's our perspective. We could be wrong.
And also, what are your takes on the things that we cover? Like what like how I was asking her questions, she was asked like, what are your takes? Like for example, about the forced marriages, about the tribalism.
If you disagree, it's fine. Let us know. You know, again, it's not nice when everyone is on the same page. You know, usually like we have to have different pages and then meet in a common ground. But yeah, let
this
us know.
This is what we have for you today, and stay tuned for episode 2. And like she said earlier when we started this episode, it's bi-weekly, not every Wednesday. It's bi-weekly.
So next Wednesday on the 23rd July. I got the date right.
Inshallah. These are your hosts, Aisha and Yassine, signing out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.